Really? Play this now and I got to talk to Deb Peterson? Whew. Getting all hot and bothered. 8:45, Valentine's Day. McGraw back on Monday. Hello, darling. How are you?
I am just great. How are you, John?
Great. What? I
missed you.
No, you haven't.
One of my favorite people, not only in radio, but in the real world.
You never called me one time.
Oh, Bean.
Can't really miss me.
I mean, do you have a phone wherever it is you live?
I do.
Don't you live out in the middle of nowhere?
Well, you could send smoke signals. We look for those.
There you go. And now you're drawing McGraw, luring McGraw that way far out there.
Yeah, that's gigantic shoes to fill. And they're espadrilles, which I don't ask questions. All right, so big editor lady of the editorial part of the paper thingy. That's the official title.
Editorial board. It's not that tough of a word.
I kind of miss when you used to write about rich Jews having ugly divorces, but, whatever. You want to get on to meatier stuff?
It's very interesting that people don't want to take me seriously because I did that. And I said, that was a blip. I did many other things over my many years at the Post-Dispatch.
I was a male dancer. Right. We all had moments that we're not wildly proud of.
You were not only a male dancer, you were a male dancer who wore a boa.
I was a male dancer at far-sighted bachelorette parties.
Okay.
Thanks for the boa reference. That's nice. There's a statute of limitations on those things. All right, let's talk about the city. And I was going to ask the mayor about this when he was on earlier, but I thought, no, we're talking heat up St. Louis. I don't want to get too much into this, but let's talk about the appointment of a Board of Aldermen president as opposed to where they used to be elected. Now the city's going to say, nope, this is going to be the person.
Well, it's far from being a done deal. It is far from, I think there's going to be a lot of pushback. But isn't it an interesting concept where instead of having an expensive campaign where some, person is out there trying to convince the public that they should be president of the Board of Aldermen, which really is a very internal position, why not let it be an appointed position?
I know it's Louis Reed would like some of that advertising money back.
Yeah, I think that it is it's expensive to run for governor. For mayor, and it's expensive to run for the Board of Aldermen. And when you're the president of the Board of Aldermen, and then you run for mayor and you lose, you want your money back. But what are you going to do? I think as the Board of Aldermen is evolving or trying to evolve out of its early 20th century makeup, it's got to do some things. So there's a bill that has been passed that by 2022 they're going to cut their numbers dramatically. It's like going to be from 28 down to 12. Many other cities have this is a humongous board for a city that doesn't have the population that at one time required that much representation. So nominating or naming, I guess, within itself a president for the board might not be a bad idea.
All right. Well, if you say so, then I'm voting for it.
But it will not take the politics out of all these positions, which is really part of the big problem. That no matter, the president is always fighting with the mayor. That's kind of the nature of it. The mayor is always trying to end run the board. There's just inherent in the structure that the city has is a lot of trouble. It's a troublesome kind of construction. So it's interesting. I think they're going to maybe go, further afield in efforts to change it.
We're still having red light camera discussions, which I wish we were doing before because I've already paid for like 4 of them.
You've paid?
Yeah, but
you're one of those people?
I haven't had one in a few years. There wasn't conversation about constitutionality at the time.
Were you in your car when the red light clicked on them?
That was me running over the pedestrian as well.
But how did they know you're in your car? It does not. So constitutionally, people have opposed them since the beginning because it does not give you the right to face your accuser. And there's no person at the other end of that camera. Theoretically, it's a camera. So when a person reviews the camera tape or whatever it is, I guess they can't tell who's driving. So how can you be charged with something? Maybe it was your kid. Maybe it's your friend. Anyway, that's long been one of the complaints. So in its wisdom, the city fathers of Arnold, which I thought, in December, they were told by the Supreme Court, your cameras aren't okay. So rather than dismantling the cameras, they say, you don't have to pay your fine. But if you want to pay your fine, we'll keep your money. But if you don't want to pay your fine, no problem. Just ignore your summons, ignore your citations. It is bizarre. I mean, everybody is going through these calisthenics in an effort to figure out how to cope with having these red light cameras. They like the revenue. And all, behind all this is this American Traffic Solutions company out of Arizona, which came in here, paid a lot of people, including Joyce Abusi. They got her on board early, big money, spread it around, and pretty soon every lawyer in town is, not everyone, but a lot of lawyers are making a lot of money off of the American Traffic Solutions problem. So they're all lobbying to keep the red lights and red light cameras, and that's how it goes.
How about this? You come to a red light. How about this? You come to a red light, you stop and wait till it turns green. Just
How
a
about
thought.
That? Wouldn't that be novel? If you don't stop, maybe there's a police officer there who's going to nail you. But the cameras just don't, they're really not, they haven't been a great solution. They're a money grab for the communities. But haven't we all gotten to them where suddenly you're not going through the light, you're sitting there and there's still the cameras blinking. It kind of startles you. Not a great thing.
I find that the red light cameras add about 10 pounds to me. All the pictures I've seen, I look fat. She is the editorial guru goddess of the St. Louis Post-Dispatch and a woman that I'm just crazy about. Deb
You're
Peterson.
the best, John. Call
me.
All
right, my dear.
Okay, while McGraw's gone.
Yes, dear. Take care.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Deb Peterson right there. If we only knew how she felt about things.